Roll.
Okay. All right. Ready to get it? All right.
My little Margie, I'm always thinking of you, Margie.
You better be.
I tell the world I love you, don't forget your promise to me. I have bought a home and house and ring and everything for Margie. She's been my inspiration, days are never blue. After all that's said and done, there is really only one. Oh, Margie, Margie, it's you. Oh, now, Margie, I'm always thinking of you, Margie.
You better be.
I tell the world I love you, don't forget your promise to me. I have bought a home and house and ring and everything for Margie. You've been my inspiration, days are never blue. After all that's said and done, there is really only one. Margie, Margie, it's you. All right, baby. I'm taking Margie out tonight.
You better
We're gonna wine and dine.
be. Yeah.
After we have our drinks,
That's right.
we have our thrill.
Uh-huh.
Guess who's gonna be stuck paying the bill? It's you, Margie. I'm always thinking of you, Margie.
You better be.
I tell the world I love you, don't forget your promise to me. I have bought a home and house and dog and everything for Margie. You've been my inspiration, days are never blue. After all that's said and done, there is really only one. Oh, Margie, Margie, it's you. Come here, Freddie. Find a cat toy, eh? Good girl.
I wanted to get up and clog dance and sort of sit on this couch. That's a lot of fun.
That is a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
that is the Vaudevillians. Be sure and check out their channel.
Vaudevillians.
Just go ahead and give a shout out to the unbelievably talented duo of the Vaudevillians. Always
Oh, I love them.
a good laugh. Good to see you here, Chuck.
Good to see you too. Well, I even love that title, My Little Margie. Now, I did not exist in the 1950s, but there was a television sitcom called My Little Margie with an actress named Gail Storm. It was NBC's answer to I Love Lucy. They were trying to imitate it. I used to watch reruns of that when I was a kid in my local hometown, and I got to meet Gail Storm when she was like in her 80s and just gush all over her. I was such a fan of yours when I was a kid, you know.
Wow.
They called her the poor man's Lucy.
Oh, well, there you go. A little bit of what is that? Trivia.
Little trivia.
Yeah,
Trivia.
Film, movie trivia. Chuck is your person. And of course, as I know, Chuck heard the unbelievable Diane Keaton, who we
Oh,
absolutely love and
I
adore,
was
has passed
heartbroken.
away. And we didn't really have a chance too much to talk about it last
No,
week.
I love
And
that you talked about it Sunday. You know, she died this Saturday, and you mentioned it on your show on Sunday. You know, I always admired Diane Keaton quite a bit, but I didn't realize what a hardcore fan I was until when she died, and I started looking at her list of movies, and I saw how many of those films I had absolutely loved, and I loved because of her. You know, like Baby Boom, First Wives Club, Something's Got to Give, Annie Hall, Godfather. You can just go on with her resume.
I always felt she had trouble fitting into the cast of The Godfather because I think that part of what made her wonderful and what Woody Allen celebrated in her as an actor was her quirky, weird
Yeah.
California sensibilities. And I think that she had to really work hard to kind of erase that in many of the characters she played.
Actually,
Yeah.
if I may say, that's the reason she got cast in The Godfather. Francis Ford Coppola felt that the character was very bland, and he wanted, when he auditioned Diane Keaton, you know, this was when she was relatively unknown, and he saw her quirkiness, her eccentricity, and he thought that would make the character itself much more interesting on screen. So he actually encouraged that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe that quirkiness was what Michael Corleone found attractive, and it kind of fit with Michael Corleone in the sense that Michael Corleone was around all these mob daughters, and he rebelled against it. His character didn't want to marry an Italian girl. He didn't want to marry somebody that was a mob's daughter. And then he goes to Italy till things cool down, and he does the very thing that Michael Corleone said he was not going to do, which is he winds up in an arranged marriage.
Exactly. But it was that very quirkiness, you know, the fact that Diane Keaton stood out as unique worked in her favor. And, you know, it was just undeniable she was going to be a star. I mean, it was like 5 years after The Godfather, she won her Best Actress Oscar. And of course, she built that whole comedic legacy with Woody Allen leading up to that. But I just adored her. I loved her in Reds, her performance in Reds
as well.
Yeah, and I think
she notoriously dated all of her leading men. Have you noticed that?
Oh yes.
She dated Al Pacino,
Warren Beatty, Woody Allen famously lived with him. But you know, it was Shirley MacLaine who wrote in one of her books. Shirley claimed that every actress falls in love with her leading man when she's making a movie. That was her claim, but that seemed to be a bit true for Diane. You know, another one I love. Did you ever see the film she did with Morgan Freeman, where they played husband and wife? It was like a 40, 50-year interracial marriage, and they just had the most beautiful chemistry together. You know, Diane always brought such a warmth to everything she did. I'm trying to think of the title of it, but it was made just within the last 10 years, I think. It was with Morgan Freeman. And my very favorite performance was Something's Got to Give, you know, with Jack Nicholson.
That was wonderful.
And I was really happy to hear on the news.
Jack Nicholson, but he wouldn't go out with her. And she said it was because it's because I'm too old. She complained about it, and she said, yes, she can't say no to an Irishman. She said, mother was Irish, and she just loves Irish.
Do you remember that scene, that montage where she kept crying uncontrollably over several weeks?
What was this?
This was the movie of Jack Nicholson.
Oh,
Jack Nicholson had dumped her, and she went on
that.
this big crying jag that just, the montage implied that it went on for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it was, as I watched that in the movie theater, I was laughing and crying at the same time. And I was thinking that's a very rare quality when an actor can make you laugh and cry at the exact same time. And the only other actor I can ever think who could do that was Lucille Ball. And Diane Keaton had that quality. Right. That's a rare ability.
You did a little that with Meg Ryan in Meg Ryan starring along with Billy Crystal. What was the name of the film?
Crying and
Laughing.
Sally. Yes. laughing and crying. Oh, well, When Harry Met Sally.
When Harry Met Sally was a brilliant film. I mean,
Yeah.
it will go down in history as one of the great love story movies.
Oh,
because it starts
exactly.
slow. First, she thinks he's weird. Then she thinks he's a friend, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like the beautiful story of the evolution of their relationship.
Yeah. Oh, the title of the movie with Morgan Freeman was Five Flights Up. That's what it was called. And also, because we haven't been looking at comments, people are pointing out, Whimsy, there seems to be a problem with your microphone and your sound. You're echoing. I'm hearing it a little bit.
Oh, I'm echoing? Okay, I'll figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, several are pointing it out here. And we've been talking obliviously about Diane Keaton, but I know for myself, I really love this actress. Did you ever see Baby Boom?
My my thing is out. My sound is out. I don't know why.
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're echoing, and several are pointing that out.
Talk to the audience.
Talk to the audience. Well, you know, one of my favorites was Baby Boom, and I have a sentimental attachment to that film because I was flying to Europe, and my flight was delayed because there was the first hurricane in 400 years hitting England. Hello, can I be heard? Whimsy, I can't hear anything. I don't know if people can hear me or not. Hello, can people hear me? Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and keep talking, assuming people can hear me right now. It was the first hurricane to hit England in 400 years. So my flight got delayed 18 hours. Anyway, I didn't know it was going to be 18 hours. I was at the airport and I thought, well, I might as well leave and go see a movie or something. And the only thing available was Baby Boom. And I just initially thought, oh, I don't really want to see that, but it's all there is to watch. And I loved it. And I loved Diane Keaton. She was so funny, but she had such depth, and she captured all the complexities of a very tough woman executive, you know, like top of her game. And suddenly she has this baby thrust into her life because she's the only living heir. And you see this very strong woman start to melt down by this little baby, how much control the baby has over her. And it was just beautifully acted and performed.
Can you hear me okay?
I hear you much better, Whimsy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep talking. Let's go ahead and say hi to everybody.
Hi to everybody.
I'm trying to
Okay.
work on my phone.
Okay. Let me scroll back here. See who. Oh, okay. We have Gigi Pardo Lord, Ann Coleman, Sally Joe, Jeff Marie 84, Intuitive Kathy. Hope I'm saying this correctly. Jonquil Pearl. Our floor director, Joel Tilson. So grateful to you, Joel. Renee. Being careful not. The Sybil. Hope I'm not repeating names here. And Dylan. Tavi. Oh, hi, Joyce, my good friend. I hope you're feeling better. You know, your recent dental surgery. Never too late to dream. And boy, do I agree with that. Never too late to dream. I feel like we're living proof of that, Whimsy. Sugar Baby's mama. Joanne Corbett, Wendy Burt. Oh, by the way, Wendy wanted me to tell you your hat, you need to fix your feathers in the front. She thinks perhaps Mila might have gotten
Yes.
something.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that, Wendy. I meant to tell her before the show, but I'm telling her now, and you're my witness. Susan, Holly, Kimberly, Penny, and Eric.
Okay.
Woofies. These are great names.
Ooh.
Randy.
All right. How's
Brenda.
my sound?
Cool.
How's my sound? Can
Your
you tell me
sound
how
is good. At
Okay,
least it is
great.
to me anyway.
My apologies. Every time I go online, for whatever reason, the computer switches me to my iPhone, and then I'm talking into my phone. So I don't know why it's automatically going into my phone.
Damn
And then
technology.
who knows? Who knows what
can't
in the
figure it out.
world is going on in this
Two
world?
poor little baby boomers like ourselves with all this technology to
Sound is
figure out.
great now. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, every time I go online, it goes bing, you are now talking through the phone. And then so you can only hear me through the phone. And it's just like,
Mhm.
I don't know
Yeah.
why it keeps doing that. I don't know what's going on with it to make it like this.
Yeah, at least we can hear you really good right now. And sorry, folks, I should have been
My
looking
cough
at the
is better.
comments. We had all these people going, "We can't hear you. Your sound is off. You're echoing," and we're just
Okay,
chatting away.
can
you know?
everybody hear Dr. Whimsy now? Yes,
Yeah.
somebody had insulted me and said, well, you should know that Diane Keaton had plastic surgery, and you should stop talking and just do your readings, and you're not a real doctor anyway. So that was
Oh,
kind of
well,
so.
don't
I
be that
did.
nice.
She claimed she didn't have plastic surgery.
I don't believe she did. I mean, if
And
you look
I,
at
you
Diane
know,
Keaton,
she didn't she do Lancome ads or something like that?
I think she did do those. But you know, you look at Diane Keaton, she embraced the wrinkles in her face and she was beautiful. I don't think she had cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, and but she had basal cell carcinoma, which is not life-threatening.
Yeah, we were talking.
She probably shot with filters, because if you can shoot with a filter, I have a 25% filter on right now, so everyone's
Yeah.
like thinks I look
You
great. What
almost
did you
said
do to
another word.
yourself? I added a 25. If I go to a 50% filter, then it's going to look weird, but you can do a subtle filter.
Sure.
And then people are going to think you look amazing. You're so young.
Oh,
But
I gotta find out about these filters.
Right. Well,
I'm unfiltered right now, you know.
Oh, so I have a 25% filter, but if you look at Diane Keaton without a filter, not that I'm trying to make the girl look bad, but no, if you've had a facelift, you don't have a face that looks like that.
No.
And I'm not saying that as an insult, because
Oh no, of course not.
she embraced her wrinkles. This was her a couple days prior to her death.
Oh, well, she was beautiful.
So yeah, she was beautiful, but those are the wrinkles you get through hard work. Those are not the wrinkles you get after you've had a facelift.
Yeah. Well, you know,
but if you go through a filter, if you know, that's a filter.
Yes.
Where you've got the white light right on her. You can see the white light on the cheeks there. So that's why I think a lot of people felt like she must have had, but we don't really need them. I'm just like me right now. Like I said, I'm at a 25% filter rate. So it's going to drop off 10 years of your age. But if you get rid of your filter, and that's me without a filter. So you can see, you're going to see a little bit more of this kind of thing when you have your filter removed. Actually, I think I look pretty good.
I think you look damn good. But Diane Keaton, you know, living in Los Angeles for 40 years.
I'm going to go back to my 20%.
Line of work that I was in, I have seen hundreds of facelifts. I've seen lots of Botox. I've seen lots of filters. Not fillers, not filters. I've seen the works. I've seen the whole.
Yeah, and that's, you can see that his face is an authentic face. You can see that's sun damage, but she did use sunscreen though. She did use sunscreen.
Yeah, but anyway, I've seen lots of cosmetic surgery to know how to recognize it. Now, some of the people I would see looked fabulous, like women like Diane Sawyer, Bernadette Peters, you know, where I was.
Robert Downey Jr. has the best facelift of anyone I've ever seen in my life.
Really? I didn't know he'd had a facelift. I knew Bradley Cooper had one recently.
Have you not seen, excuse me, have you not seen Robert Downey Jr.'s face?
No, I haven't seen him lately.
Yeah, when he got his facelift when he was in his 40s. And that makes sense because he did quite a number on his with addiction, you think.
A lot of hard living. By his own admission.
But this would be like somebody who's aged, but they got a little help from a surgeon.
Yeah, a little help.
Well, you get that tightening around the face. I think it looks great. Look at that. Excellent, though. Looks he has the best facelift.
Can you enlarge the picture?
Sure.
Yeah, let's see. But I mean, from what I can see here, it does look good. It looks natural. You know, that's the key to it. Occasionally I would see someone who had a facelift where it looked natural because they didn't go too far. What looked really bad were always the people who had their faces pulled back like they were trying to look, they would be like 65 trying to look like they were 22 again. And that never works. All it does is make you look stretched and pulled and you still look your age. That was what I noticed. But the people who would just do some little things here and there.
Yeah, I think that what I liked about, you know, I was thinking if I get a facelift, I want it to look as good as Robert Downey because it's just very neat.
Well, we got to find his surgeon
looks
for you,
excellent.
Whimsy.
Look excellent. His teeth, everything. Like This is the kind of stuff we talk about in LA. It's
We
like
are going to
that is a
track
that
down.
is a great face for a guy in his 60s.
So when are you getting your facelift, Whimsy? Not that you
Phil,
need it.
you know what? I'm holding off with filters. I'm holding off with
You
just
don't
using
need it.
filters.
You don't need it. But if you did, I wouldn't fault you for that. I think it's everybody's prerogative to do whatever they want to do with their own body. And I don't have qualms against an actor or an actress like Diane Keaton. If she had some work done, it's her profession, it's her business. She has to look good on camera. So I wouldn't fault her for that, but I admire her for just embracing the way she naturally looked. And as you said, probably worked with some filters and things, but that's been going back to the 1920s and 30s and 40s when there would be gauze and filters on the lenses and special lighting. You know, actors have always done
smart.
tricks like that to disguise their flaws and enhance what works for them. And
Have
yes,
you gotten excuse me. Have you gotten a new book?
yeah.
You're holding it up, so I assume that's an it.
I had to panic for a moment. I thought, oh gosh, I hope I have the book here. I'm in the middle of a lot of house cleaning right now, and I've got stuff.
You decided to clean the house? That's a miracle.
Yeah, can you believe it?
Houses.
But I've got boxes everywhere because I've been pulling stuff out of closets and things. And it was about a half an hour before the show. I couldn't find my copy of the book.
Always check your bed because that's where it always is. Because I'm in bed reading.
Yeah.
What'd you think? What do you think about
the
fall?
So far, I've just read a little bit so far, admittedly, but I like what I'm seeing thus far. I know I'm going to enjoy this very much, and I love the topic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm certain we're going to have recognition. I think you and I both have felt like we were in a past life in Atlantis. At least I have felt that way, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, hello to Ann Coleman.
Yeah, big hello. One more to Chuck and Whimsy from the Upper Peninsula. Will Hamas leave Gaza?
Say hi to Joel Furman, the floor.
Hi, Joel. Well, I did say hi to Joel.
No, I'm saying to the audience. Say hi.
Oh, to the audience.
What do you think? What do you think? Will Hamas leave Gaza?
Well, it feels fragile.
Where are we at?
You know what? It feels like a tray of Baccarat crystal goblets, and it's being very carefully balanced, but one of those goblets could fall and break. Let's hope and pray this is going to hold, but it's so fragile right now. That's how it feels. How does it feel to you, Whimsy?
It feels like everything is falling according to plan.
Yeah.
What's the next thing on phase 2?
Well, I don't know. I was going to ask you that because this is, I understand this
ceasefire.
Yeah, this is the first part of the 20.
And then the exchange of hostages.
Yeah, because weren't there 20 points on Trump's peace proposal? And I read today this was the first page of that.
Hamas has to go to a host country is the next part of phase 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did agree to that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they can start the rebuild because they can't do it right now because Hamas is going around killing people. In fact, it's more dangerous now, they say, that the Israelis have left. Because now it's just people with guns in the streets killing each other, fighting on rooftops who's going to be in charge. So you have the PLA, the Palestinian, you have various different Palestinian factions. Yeah. Sorry, I was making herbs today. I've got cardamom in my throat.
Yeah, a lot of dust. You deal with a lot of that when you're making herbs. You know, I was saying to you for the show, perhaps wearing a mask or something would help with that.
I didn't think that it would be a problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it would have been either. But
yeah, the cardamon's getting to me a little bit.
As you communicate with all of your herbs.
Yeah, this one, yes, has
to
go out.
Are you still working with lemon balm, or have you moved on to another herb?
You know, I feel like my next one is going to be holy basil. This remedy was for someone with asthma, believe it or not. And I just finished it today.
Really?
That was really good on my hands. But it was eucalyptus, echinacea, elderberry, cordyceps to improve oxygen.
Yeah.
It was the carminatives with cardamom, cinnamon, and ginger, anise and fennel. I always put that in for flavor. Holy basil, ashwagandha, schisandra, rhodiola.
You're doing a lot of things that cover stress and anxiety.
Yeah, I gave this individual something because their cortisol was elevated.
Yeah.
In
The
addition,
cordyceps
and
is a
her
great
adrenal
name.
was fatigued, but I also gave her something for and the dust.
Yeah.
I
But
was
you
like,
said initially to
poof,
treat,
with this ground cardamom.
yeah, but you said to initially treat asthma, breathing issues.
Oh yeah, I also
Yeah.
put nettle
Yeah.
and something else for
Yeah.
asthma.
Well, because what intrigued me about that, I remember in,
Cordyceps.
Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, that chart in the back of the book, with the emotional, psychological reasons behind health issues. And people who have a lot of grief tend to have breathing issues. It's about taking in oxygen,
Yeah,
taking
grief
in
is
life.
lungs and large intestine, which are associated
Yeah.
with the element of metal. The swords in the
Yeah.
cards
That
are
intrigued me
associated
when
with the emotion of grief.
when you mentioned some of the things such as holy
And
basil.
Chinese medical theory is interwoven in the cards. So if you're looking at the swords, you're looking at the metal element.
Yeah.
It's one of the 5 elements. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't taken holy basil in years, but it's wonderful for stress, anxiety, grief. And frankly, the reason I was taking it, not to bring up that boss I had, who she is, and she was just hell. She was a monster. She was hell on earth. I used to just be in such grief and depression about having to go to work every day. And I would take about 6 capsules of holy basil before I'd go to work, just to lift my mood up so I could deal with her. And it worked to a degree.
Yeah, I think I'm moving on to, it was going to be either holy basil or kava kava was going to be the next herb I worked with.
Well, kava kava will be a good one, but I think you should go with holy basil next. I'm just feeling
Yeah, I'm done with
that has a lot to do.
lemon balm. As you guys know, I've been working my way through all the herbs, one herb at a time, trying to develop a spiritual relationship with that herb.
Yeah.
This is something that people who work with the herbs, shamans, we just try and connect with one herb at a
Yeah.
time. So I started with chamomile, then I did lemon balm. I did not get the benefits from lemon balm that I did with chamomile. Chamomile changed my
Interesting.
life. Chamomile
Really?
changed my life.
Why do you think you
I
did?
was forever changed by chamomile.
Yes, you mentioned that. Now, why do you think the lemon balm didn't have the same effect? Do you think it's because the chamomile already did its job? Did what it
Yeah.
was supposed to do?
Yeah, lemon balm just kind of supported the healing I had received from the chamomile. And the message from the plant is that for me to laugh at the absurdity of my being angry because everything I do is not perfect.
Oh.
Which is impossible. That I am a circus, that it is a joke. To expect perfection from yourself rather than to laugh when you spill the tea.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm guilty of that
to
myself.
stand back and look at your absurdity.
Yeah.
To see the absurdity of your demand that you be perfect. That learning to just say, oh, it's just a little spilled tea, and to not tolerate that harshness in yourself or in anyone else. We are all striving to be better. We are all striving to mastery, but we don't need to be harsh with one another. We don't need to be unforgiving. We don't need to be brutal with one another over minor faults, because life is hard enough, and we have to be able to just be adults and work these things through and be far more forgiving of people's humanity, starting with ourselves. And so the spiritual lesson I got from chamomile was very, very deep.
Yeah.
And and Melissa officinalis is a Latin name. And so we think of Melissa as your best friend, Melissa, and she wants you to eat salads and braid your hair and plait your hair. And that's the energy of lemon balm. And so lemon balm is often a supportive. So it was supportive of the chamomile, but I didn't think of it as the main driver of my spiritual growth.
Yeah. Well, when you and I were working in the health industry, I used to give a lot of lemon balm because there was such a prevalence of ADHD. I would get
Yes.
a lot of customers, ADHD, and even just people who were wanting sleep aids. And as you know, there's no single sleep aid. It's what's right for the individual. But I found in my discussions with people, many just had too much going on in their mind. Their minds were just
Yes.
racing and racing and racing. Those frontal lobes there. And lemon balm was wonderful for helping to calm that down. And that in itself gives a wonderful sense of peace and security.
Yes, and that was kind of where lemon balm came to me after the chamomile. That lemon balm's lesson was stop worrying about being the next Yitzhak Perlman. Just worry about your personal
Be
relationship.
the next Jack Benny.
Yeah, or the next Jack Benny. Just worry
Mhm.
about your personal relationship with the violin. And the
Yeah.
spiritual act of attempting to master something is in and of itself a spiritual path. Don't worry about being the next Joan Didion. Just write the book.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be, the first draft is going to be illegible. Just barf it onto the page.
Mhm.
Stop editing yourself.
Exactly.
Just barf it onto the page.
That's how I
And then you
work.
can always go back and edit later. and
That's the
add
beauty of a
you
computer.
may
It's so
do,
easy to go
you
back.
know, Joan Didion, she doesn't waste a word, but she barfs on, she spends 3-4 weeks just barfing stuff up,
Yeah.
like it could be 1,000 pages. When Elie Wiesel wrote Night about his testimony of the Holocaust, it was close to 900 words. He
Mhm.
removed all the words until he got down to 192 words or something like
Yeah.
that. It was a very thin novel because sometimes it's more powerful when you have less words. And so I think what trips a lot of people who are, we have a book club, right, that we started a couple years back. And because we really want to, first off, we love books. We love books on spiritual subjects, but we also want to
I love
encourage,
writers.
we want to support our writers and people that are on that path and people that are on a legacy to share whatever it is they've learned in this world. And we're all called to a legacy, and we are all called to give an account and a reckoning for our lives. And that's very daunting. And the Talmud is right, the whole Talmud about this idea of you are guaranteed certain things when you come to this planet. When you incarnate in this planet, you're guaranteed certain things. This is what the Talmud talks about. You're going to be given skins of leather. You were light beings. You were part of the endless light, the Ein Sof. And now you're going to separate from that, and you're going to put on these leather costumes, and you're going to have to breathe this toxic air in this, or as what we talk about in Buddhism, the bodhisattvas of the earth, of the mud and the shit and the crap, right?
Oh, the density. We have to adapt to that.
And we have to somehow, in this dimension, pick up a shovel or whatever it is and get to the business of making this world the same as heaven vibrationally. And then when we complete that work, being the good little astronauts we are, we will leave this world, and then we will incarnate into the next planet, or we'll come back to this planet. But it's always with the same message from the endless light from which we come, and that is to evolve the perfection. But that doesn't mean you have to be perfect.
No, not at all.
So that's the
one of
lesson
the biggest
I took
hindrances.
from chamomile and lemon balm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting back to the question of will Hamas leave? Yes, Hamas will leave because, for very clear reasons, Hamas is going to leave. Hamas is going to leave because Qatar wants to be part of the Abraham Accords. And the Abraham Accords is worth hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. And when your when your Arab brothers and sisters are signing the Abraham Accords, and you're in the way because you want to fund Hamas and terrorist organizations, or do you want to be where the big money is? And so how do we make people Zionist? We make people Zionist by making them investors. And how do you make people peace activists? By making them investors. When people feel that they're going to be making money, then at that point, people become interested in peace. And so for that reason, I think Qatar is out, and Trump just is now focused on the Abraham Accords, which is good because it's no, it's no longer it's no longer about the Trump Tower. It's no longer about that.
Yeah.
It's now about something greater than that,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
he never could have gotten them to have agreed to that. It had to be the only way that they they were going to get to peace is if he got the Arab
Israel
states to agree.
than I have, in addition to negotiating the Abraham Accords. I like to say it that way because the real people, that's what they call Abraham. I would say Abraham, but it's so much nicer when you say Abraham. So much more elegant. But the Abraham Accords are amazing. Jared, you did that along with your group of geniuses. Israel than I have, in addition to negotiating the Abraham Accords. I like to say it that way because the
So it was always about, could they get this deal going? Could they get this deal going with the Abraham Accords?
Abraham.
Abraham, he got it right eventually. He
Yeah,
got it right.
sorry to interrupt
That's
you.
not how we say it. It's Abraham. Then he was in the Knesset. Somebody must have corrected him
Mhm.
because he was in the Knesset.
Somebody dared to correct him.
Yeah. So it was always about this greater thing, or what I call GOA, the Global Oasis Alliance.
Mhm.
And the Global Oasis Alliance was always about getting everybody on board. So it was no longer going to be Trump taking over. It was all the Middle Eastern states coming together to as part of a broader peace deal.
Into Gaza, where, as you know, it's been desperately needed. The UN says it will allocate an additional $11 million from an emergency fund to help Palestinians in need. On the Daily Report last night, Nancy Chen spoke to the co-founder of Gaza Soup Kitchen about what people need right now.
Well, they need water, and the issue is the infrastructure has been bombed. We are trying to get water to some neighborhood, water trucks, but unfortunately there are so many ditches that it's not safe to drive a water truck. And we're hoping that the municipalities, the different NGOs, I'm praying that UNRWA will be back in the ground, UNRWA responding. And
UNRWA's never coming back on the ground because they were harboring a Hamas terrorist. But yeah, that's what's going on. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Once I clear my throat. Oh my God.
Darn those
I
herbs.
coughed until I went live today.
Well, it's like me the last time we did a show. I was perfectly fine. Get on the air. I start coughing. So I don't know what.
Well, this is because I made the mistake of getting all those herbs in my throat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So, what are we going to do? Are we going to do the empath prayer and blitz, blitz, blitz away?
Sure.
I thought I was going to do a cough-free show. That'll teach me. All right. Do you have any announcements, Chuck?
Any announcements? Gee, I hadn't thought of that. You mean the announcements we usually do at the end of the show, or what?
Chuck, do you have anything to say before I do the empath prayer?
No, I don't have anything.
I'm trying to
say.
give you a chance to talk while I clear my throat.
Okay, I should have picked up on your ever
It's
so
okay.
subtle cue there.
It's not the day I wanted it to be. Let's just put it that way. I
Okay,
didn't expect to be coughing like this. Oh well.
we're on live, folks. You know, live and learn.
I don't have a cold. I just have a.
No, I can attest to the fact she's been working with herbs, and this is just herb. This is
Herb
magic
fatigue.
dust. It's sprinkled herb dust, you know, like fairy dust.
It doesn't usually bother me but the oil of cardamom I think can set me off a little bit. But yeah, the other thing is that I had done a little vaping a couple of days ago, and that always gives me a cough. And then I love to smoke, but any smoking at all, and I get an allergy, so I just have to be very strict not. I love to vape.
I know you.
It can have nothing in it. It doesn't have to have any substance, but the act of inhaling something is just so enjoyable. It's the inhaling that I enjoy.
What would happen if you didn't you say you can actually smoke chamomile?
I just inhaled cardamom.
Yeah. Because
I
we were. That's
like
right. Because we were
smoking.
talking.
I just, my mother died of it. My father died of it. My sister died of it. But we're big smokers. But yeah, I got a vape pen and I told him to only put 0.5 of nicotine in it, thinking that that would protect me. And oh my God, it was supposed to be like a fifth of a dose or something. And I wound up so high on nicotine. So
Really?
I'm really sensitive.
Well, you're extremely sensitive. I think that's what it is. Because isn't nicotine used as a mood
THC is the opposite. Like if I go crazy on THC after 3 days, it's like
But
I'm tolerant.
isn't nicotine used as a mood elevator naturally?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you probably just took too
It
much.
binds to something called nicotinic receptors.
Yeah, and I'm even thinking about the
Just
old.
why it helps you go to the bathroom.
I'm also thinking of the Indian peace pipes, Indian tobacco, how it's part of sacred ceremonies.
I just know that after you smoke, the nicotine binds to the nicotinic receptor sites in your colon and it stimulates this. And that's why people will smoke a cigarette and then have to run to the bathroom and have a bowel movement.
I didn't know that, not being a smoker.
All right. So if you would like to receive a healing at this time, go ahead and give us your name or the name of the person that you want us to pray for, and we will include them in our prayers today. All right. That's all I have. I'm going to go ahead and do the empath prayer, and then we will blitz, blitz, blitz away. Sound good, Chuck?
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say Amen.
Amen.
And for those of you who are requesting a healing at this time, we come together and we pray. We pray that you and those you love receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and in spirit. And together again, we say Amen, Amen, Amen. May all souls be healed. Thank you, everyone. All right. So I think we could have answered this question, Joel. So
you did.
Yeah, I think when you have that kind of multi-billion-dollar investments from United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Morocco, these are the countries that are part of the Abraham Accords, and now Saudi Arabia is pledging to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's inevitable. They have basically stopped funding Hamas. So Hamas can no longer get access to its money, and because it can no longer get access to its money and it's no longer holding hostages, it basically has nothing. It has no hostages. It has no money. And I'll tell you honestly, if you're looking at zone 1, do you guys all want to know what's coming next? I can tell you.
Yeah. Tell us, Whimsy. Don't keep us in suspense.
So the next thing that's going to happen is, you know how I told you guys that we were going to meet with Egypt and we were going to talk with Egypt about being a part of this, and that Egypt was going to come in as part of the rebuild, and that they would probably donate part of North Sinai so that people could go live in North Sinai. And then North Sinai was traditionally part of the original Bedouin Shuk. But now, because of war, there's all this land that isn't being used, but the enemy is gone, so we might as well use it. So that area is probably slated to be 450 square kilometers of land that we will give to the Gazan people.
Lovely.
That President Assisi is going to give. And it's very important that he do this because unfortunately, Gaza is so toxic because of chemical weapons. They've got chemical weapons buried, 30 feet, 60 feet underground, as we said.
Goodness.
I'll tell you what's going to come. They're going to drop a massive bomb and bunker busters, which means that if they want to do a rebuild of Gaza, everyone's going to have to get out. First off, the air is dangerous to breathe.
Yeah.
once they start blowing things up, it's going to kill anybody. I mean, it's a really dangerous. You don't want anybody there, certainly not children. So
You know,
this will be a great way of getting people out of harm's way
yeah.
and allowing people to get to safety. And that's
Whimsy,
probably what's going to happen.
do you think there could have even been germ warfare? Attached to bombs and sent into that area, and that would be another reason to clear people out and get all of that removed.
We definitely looked at concerns about germ warfare, but the chemicals are the thing we were frightened of. Chemicals, and if they could, a lot of the weapon making stuff came from Iran, and then they could have taken nuclear material, put it on top of one of those bombs, and then bombed Israel, which of course would have killed everybody, including the Palestinians. It just takes one bomb with a nuclear warhead to take out Israel in the West Bank and Sinai.
Right.
So this is the plan for the North Sinai migration, 1.7 million, which means that they will be, at some point in the near future, the people will be separated from Hamas. This is what's This is what's coming in the future, folks. Okay. Trust me, a little bird told me. And so we're talking about exiling about 192 to 340 Hamas. And
do you have a time frame on this, Whimsy, in your own opinion?
Well, let's see. After exiling 192, 340 Hamas, October 7th supporters, what will be set up? IDF-led measures, enhanced vetting, housing supply, and security, excuse me, will eliminate all risk, ensuring Egypt's safety.
Yeah.
Israel's and sustainability outcome. What are we saying? Mid 2025 actions. Right now, the population is 2.5 million. People who will choose to leave, they'll migrate to France, where they have family.
Yeah.
And then Hamas, the terrorist, will leave, and then we have 1.7 million people that call Gaza their home. So then they'll be sent to countries that are willing to take them in. And then this is what they're doing in Rafah and in North Sinai, building prefab homes. Yeah.
I hadn't thought about the prefab homes. Those can be put up quite quickly.
Yeah.
I've heard of some homes, they can even be put up in a weekend.
Yeah,
so
that's what they're doing it.
Speed up the process. Yeah.
What do we got here?
Will Ukraine receive Tomahawk missiles? Would that be coming from America, from Europe, NATO? Where would they be coming from? But the question is, will they receive Tomahawk missiles? Will Ukraine receive Tomahawk missiles?
Take a look.
Will Ukraine receive Tomahawk missiles? I'm getting a yes on Pendulum. Shuffle through these, see if anything falls out.
Yeah, I think that Putin can no longer. Putin can't continue the war because they don't have any petrol.
Yeah. Their economy has crashed. They've got teenage boys
very quickly
in the army. Yeah.
So the answer is yes, happens very quickly.
That's what I got. Yes.
Opposition leaves. Putin pulls back. Hopes and fears, peace. Final outcome is an inverted 4 of Cups. So there was a hold up, but then they accepted. So yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Well, I mainly asked the pendulum. I got a strong yes on that. But, the cards bore this out. It set it up. There's obvious survival issues, despair. But I also got invention, new beginnings, and victory. So it to me, it looks positive. It's heading in a positive direction. That's
I think that they're going to have to pull out because they ran out of gas.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. Well, figuratively and literally. Does Trump receive special treatments to keep him going daily? Well, haven't we already more or less, that's already been determined, hasn't it? That,
Yeah, I think it's standard protocol. If you have a patient 79, 80 years old,
Mhm.
and they're going to be on the kind of tough schedule that President Trump was on, headed to the Middle East, you're going to
Mhm.
want him to come in and you're going to check his, if you're worried about blood clots, etc. You're going to
Yeah,
want to, you're going to want, excuse me, approve him for a flight.
Yeah.
And so I think the reason, I don't think there's anything unusual about that he went into Walter Reed, given his medical history.
Yeah.
You know, he's going on a long distance flight. There's a lot that's being demanded of him. Of course, they're going to want to give a physical exam before approving him getting on that plane. It's otherwise, you don't want to put his life at risk if he's to possible blood clots, if he's, you know, having that issue and appears to be on some type of blood thinners.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just aspirin.
Yeah, because last week we were speculating on why he was going back for another checkup so soon after the one in April and the one in July. It still feels like to me they are going to eventually lay the groundwork for his failing health and the reason for a possible resignation.
Do you think but why are we surprised? He's nearly 80 years old and going on a long distance, high stress trip. And he's got blood pooling in his ankles. Of course, he's going to go into the doctor, and the doctor is going to say, this patient cannot fly, or yes, this patient is cleared for flying. Like, why is anybody surprised? Since he's going anyway to get cleared for this flight,
that made perfect sense.
They're going to run other tests. They're going to do his psych eval. And it goes back to that whole idea, Chuck, that you and I have talked about, which is that every year we age exponentially.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gets faster and faster and faster. We fall apart faster and faster and faster the older we get.
Yeah. But, when we were talking about this last week, I don't think we were factoring in that it could just be a simple checkup to make sure that it's okay for him to fly and to undergo all of this.
Oh, you have to.
Stress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you said, you would send grandpa to the doctor to be checked.
Wouldn't you? If one of our patients came in with those and said, I want to fly to Paris, wouldn't you want him to get clear from his primary?
Absolutely.
So I don't think we should be surprised.
No, I don't think so either. Senate budget vote failed today. Sadly, that's not a surprise.
What do you think this is doing to the American people that we're having this problem and it's going on for so long?
It's going to get progressively worse as government workers are not getting their paychecks, government institutions being shut down. And also, it's just so disturbing to see how Mike Johnson is just keeping Congress from getting back together to vote. That even that Congresswoman from Arizona, she still has not been sworn in.
That's insane.
She's going to be the deciding vote.
They can't do this forever.
Well, they can't. But we're going into how many weeks now? I forget what day this is.
This is the end of the second week.
Third
week.
Second or third week we're in there.
The third week.
But I just think the American public is watching this, and it's just so obvious what they're doing, and that's lowering morale in itself. It's creating further distrust in our government. It certainly looks like our government does not give a damn about us, especially we have the Democrats, holding firm. You're not going to take away these tax incentives that are essential to keep the Affordable Care Act going. An open enrollment is starting very soon, I think in November. This is going to be catastrophic. People are going to see their health care go up thousands of dollars. I don't know, have exact figures here, but it's going to really hurt people, as a lot of other things are, inflation is running away. Lifestyles are going to be going down. We're going to see that.
Wow.
And it just feels so cruel. It's senseless.
Well, let's see if next week, I was feeling like next week it happened sometime. What did I say? Mid next week was let's take a look. How are we doing for, it's not going to happen this week, maybe next week.
Okay. I just got a knot in the pain of my pendulum here. Okay. So what are you asking again, please? Will the Senate
next week, are we going to have any breakthroughs with this? Are we going to
have a breakthrough next week?
Is Congress coming back next week?
Is Congress coming back next week? Are we going to have a breakthrough? Okay, now this is interesting. I got a yes on Congress coming back, but I got a maybe on a breakthrough. Like that is just too up in the air right
Oh
now.
my God.
But I did say, okay, I'm going to ask it again. Will Congress come back to session next week? That's a yes. Will there be a breakthrough with the budget? Then it goes to a maybe, and now it's going closer to a no.
Oh my God. You have no idea what I just uncovered in the Akashic record.
What did you uncover, Whimsy?
There are so many men in positions of power that are going to be exposed
I
on the
know.
Epstein list
That's been
that it
said.
is not just one person. It's
That was said
multiple
today.
people. Fear, but I'll tell you,
I saw that on the news today. That's a big
the
fear.
president. Look at this. The opposition fearing incarceration. There are people out there, whether it's Wexler or Alan Dershowitz or everybody else that's been listed, there is a real fear of shunning. You know, when you're a narcissist, the worst thing in the world would be shunned. You might as well kill them. To shun a narcissist, you
Yeah.
might as well kill him.
If I may say, it's been speculated that there are names of people all over the world who are going to be affected by this. And I'm thinking these could be people who have been subsidizing a lot of these senators.
Oh, it gets worse.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this.
Whoa.
Look at this incarceration, fear, trapped. These people are afraid of lawsuits, legal action. They're afraid of being shunned. They're afraid of being cornered. Look at the final outcome here. 7 of Wands. Defense, 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 defend, defend. Protect, defend, protect. This is not more than one person.
Oh, yeah.
There are multiple people. I'm telling you, people, mark my word. There are multiple people, not just the president of the United States, that are actively working to make sure that that woman doesn't get seated and that this information doesn't make its way to the public. How long can this go on?
I don't know, but it's insane. I mean, the fact that they've shut down the government this long, I forget what the record wasn't. The record 35 days, the longest we ever had a government shutdown, and
I think, yeah,
we're heading in that direction. And the whole world sees this. They see what's going on. I don't see how you can hide it much longer.
I can't believe those cards. Did you see all those defensive men?
Yeah.
I'm going to be ruined financially. 8 of Swords is wrapped in tape. Oh my God, they're going to tax me. Oh my God, I'll be ruined. My finances. 10 of Wands is like, don't come near me. That's like agoraphobia. It's like you're cornered in your house. And then 7 of Wands. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm standing here defending myself against the world. Oh my God, how many names? Are we talking 100 names? How many people?
This could be one of the biggest government scandals in American history. You look how many people are likely affected. I mean, they're clearly running scared to be shutting down the government for these reasons.
You know, there are people that, as crazy as it sounds, that were raped and abused by Epstein that say he's a freaking reptile. He had the soul of a reptile. And there are people that were friends of his that didn't know anything about it. They thought he was a little bit of a flirt, but they say he could turn on a dime. Yeah. One minute he would be your friend, and the next minute he was like this psychopath that was just like groping you.
Yeah. Always had that impression of him.
What a nut job.
I mean, it's just so.
Next week. I think the end of next week, we're going to see movement.
You think we're going to see movement? You know, it was interesting. When I tested it, I was getting that maybe, but then it started to lean a little more toward the no than the yes, but it's not impossible. But what do you feel is the likelihood of when you say movement? When you say movement, do you think there's actually going to be a resolution, or it's just going to be movement in the direction of this being solved?
I think we'll have something worked out by next week, end of next week.
Okay. I hope so.
Will Medicaid and Obamacare be fully funded? What are you thinking?
By that you mean the restoration of funds?
Yeah, will we be able
big, beautiful bill took away? Is that what you mean?
Are they gonna starve us out or what? Let's take a look.
There is fully funded. Will it be fully funded? Fully funded. Okay, I did pendulum first before cards. What I'm getting there is not fully. There might be a compromise of some kind, but not fully. But let me see here. Um, actually,
Do they ever want
I
to win
like.
an election again?
I don't know, but I like what I got.
Yeah, let's see.
Just so the cards are. I just pulled 3, but I like this. Um, Obviously, priorities. This is a priority. It has to be addressed. And remember, I said I sense like some sort of compromise where it won't be fully, but a compromise because I'm getting balance here, and ultimately a celebration in that it's not going to be completely lost. But I'm feeling strongly it's going to be a compromise.
Yeah.
What do you
We
get?
have the Constitution holding.
Uh-huh.
A partnership worked out in Congress. Things happen very quickly. Power to the people. So yes,
Great.
it's
Good.
optimistic,
That
which I
is
think goes
optimistic.
back to what you're saying, that they will work it out, particularly with the 2 of Wands, which would indicate partnership.
Yeah.
Yeesh, what a mess. I don't know, Chuck. What do you think's happened to our country?
If I answered that question, I think we'd be on for 3 hours. I don't know. Where do we start with that one? That's a loaded question, Whimsy. What's happened to our
All right,
country?
I've got all these messages here about my weird sound. Thank God I got.
Yeah.
Oh, Looking for Mr. Goodbar. I never saw Looking for Mr. Goodbar.
Oh, that's a disturbing movie. That was the same. Here we are getting back to Diane Keaton, but that was the same year she did Annie Hall. And many felt she actually deserved the Oscar for Looking for Mr. Goodbar, but she couldn't be nominated for both films. But that was about the school teacher. You know, I think she worked with deaf children, grade school children, and she was this exemplary teacher during the day. And then at the night, she'd go off to the singles bars, and she was very promiscuous. And if I remember correctly, she picked up the wrong man at the end of the movie, and it did not end well. It was very disturbing. It's a movie people either love it or they hate it.
She gets murdered in the end?
I haven't seen the movie in many years, but as I recall, we're not supposed to ruin movies for people, but I think, as I recall, yeah, it's pretty violent at the end.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
I just remember the scene where she overslept badly because she'd been screwing around the night before, and there were all the children there waiting for her in the classroom, and she comes in with her hair all messed up, and she's all disheveled, and she's trying to pull herself together. Anyway, we should get back on topic here.
Wow.
Sorry. We're as bad as we were when we used to work together in the store.
That's
We'd get off
right.
on tangents and stuff,
Gossiping
talking about stuff.
away.
Yeah, I know. We're just letting people eavesdrop on us. Do you think the Israel peace plan was a trick to get the hostages?
Of course. Hamas isn't going to stay. We already told Hamas is leaving. Look, they can live or die, but the people of Gaza hopefully have started to realize that these wingnuts don't care about them. And so, you know, where do you send people this crazy? We released something like 2,000 psychopaths back onto the streets of Gaza, where they were, well, these are people that like raped and killed people. So you now have 2,000 more homicidal killers on the streets of Gaza. And if you look at the film footage of that's coming out, it's like people are saying, get me the hell out of Gaza, because it's worse now than it was whenever. So was it a trick? Look, we wanted to do anything and everything in our power to save the people that were trapped in Gaza, the hostages. And we also, even though after what they did to us, a lot of people feel like Israel is we're under no obligation to show any compassion to your government after your elected government did this to our people. So why should we? And now you're saying Gaza was so wonderful before. You said it was a hellhole. It was your country. Don't make it a hellhole. Now you're saying it was a wonderful place and all. Make up your mind. Was it a hellhole or a wonderful place? When we weren't there, and when we pulled back and said, fine, govern yourself, you got your state, they turned it into a war zone. They turned it building tunnels to kill Jews. All of the beautiful things that were given to them, we gave them all of olive grove, all of our kibbutzes. We just walked out of our kibbutzes. People who had been born in those kibbutzes, they wanted all the Jews out. What kind of democracy is that where you force all the Jews out? That's not a democracy. That's hegemony. But whatever. The point is that they left, and the first thing they did is they ripped all the kibbutzes apart and they sold the scrap metal. So this is not. It's not a sustainable government. It's not a sustainable way to be, and so the only way is for Hamas to leave so that it can become a functioning government, because right now it's very much not a functioning government. It's just crazy people with weapons. Let's take a look at this feedback from a Palestinian girl trapped in this nightmare. Boy, I would love to be the first to get her to Sinai, right? Get her somewhere safe, man. All the children should be out of there. It's inhuman that they didn't open the door and let these people out. These are not killers. These are not the people. They did not participate in October 7th. These are innocent people that are just trapped with these. Now they're trapped there with these psychopaths raping and killing them. So let's take a look at what she has to say. This is a typical Gazan here.
Anyone with a weapon thinks they have power over life and death, and people, instead of help, they're literally finishing each other. I mean, if that war didn't finish us, are we gonna finish each other? I survived war, bombing, hunger, fear, and now I have to survive people madness. And if you really want to do something to help me, please pray for me to get out of this place as soon as possible, because as I already said, that war might be over, but there's another war going on inside here.
You do not want to miss what this Gazan has to say.
So she goes on and she talks about it.
But all I can say is that some people here are literally losing their minds. Crime is rising. Anyone with a weapon thinks they have power over life and death, and people, instead of help, they're literally finishing each other. I mean, if that war didn't finish us, are we gonna finish each other? I survived war, bombing, hunger, fear, and now I have to survive people madness. And if you really want to do something to help me, please pray for me to get out of this place as soon as possible, because as I already said, that war might be over, but there's another war going on inside here.
All right. On the other side of that, you want to talk about it, Chuck?
Well, I mean, that's very poignant. There's another war going on inside of here. People.
No, not inside of here. Inside of Gaza, they're literally shooting in people's faces.
But I meant how it's psychologically affecting people,
Yes.
scaring people, terrifying people, and people can't be at peace with themselves. It's just.
So the only thing they can do at this point is lure Hamas. We have to lure Hamas to a host country. And then the peacekeeping troops that are coming in, which are a combination of Europe and the Middle East, will come together and they will oversee it while some kind of a government is slowly created. But it has to be a government that is not going to be a repeat of what happened before.
Yeah. That's why I was asking you about timelines. This sounds so extraordinarily complex. And I even said to you, I had that image, at the beginning of the show, I said, this is like a tray of delicate crystal goblets, and they could easily fall over and shatter. It feels very fragile.
It feels very fragile, but the good news is that Qatar, however you want to pronounce it, they understand that Israel is very serious. And if you don't want to get the crap bombed out of you into smithereens, you're going to stop funding terrorism, because the party is over. No Middle Eastern country is going to fund terrorism ever again. And you can either join the Oasis and be a part of this and sign up for this, or get out of the way, because this is happening, and it's happening now. Am I happy that Donald Trump, look, here's how you need to look at Donald Trump, which is why I forgive Elon Musk and Netanyahu for this frick up. He's a car salesman. They had a great concept. They had a great idea, and they needed a car salesman. And so they hired this guy to be their car salesman. Whether or not he'll be able to sell it, whether or not he's succeeding in selling the Oasis, which is heavily being funded by Saudi Arabia, only time will tell. But the problem with Donald Trump is that he didn't create this smart people, pretty brilliant people, I think,
Mhm.
created this thing, and he's just the car salesman
Yeah.
selling the concept.
That's the way I've always seen it.
That's how you do it. This is how we do it, people. So what's the takeaway?
Well,
How did he become so popular all of a sudden?
mhm.
Why was he so popular all of a sudden?
You mean Trump?
Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
think?
well, I mean, I think they're the people who know how to control him are dangling that Nobel Peace Prize over his head. Trump, like most presidents in their second terms, are very concerned about their legacy. Trump wants this to be his legacy of the great peacemaker in the Middle East.
About the money, honey. It's about the Oasis being worth
Sure.
$350 billion a
Well,
year.
that's how you speak to Trump. Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so kiss the ring. Is that
Mhm.
how it works? Is that what's happening here?
Oh,
I
I'm
think,
certain.
yeah. I think it's about kissing the ring
More
because
than just the
not
ring.
not because they respect the car salesman, but because they like the car.
Yeah.
Because they know he's just a salesman.
Mhm. And he's a
Yeah.
damn good salesman. He's a con artist. He's a
That's what we have to
he's a
understand.
snake oil vendor.
Right.
You know, he's one of the
So it's
best ever at that.
about building Oasis and an end to war in the Middle East. That war is over because Qatar is no longer going to be funding it. Iran's, because if they do, we will take them out.
Mhm.
And so you're going to shake hands with us, Europe. You're going to shake hands with us, Arab leaders, and you're going to say no more funding terrorism, or you're going to be finished as a country.
Mhm.
Want to talk about it?
Well, did you speed that footage up, or was that just the way
No.
it was? I thought that, yeah.
That's how many people kiss the ring? Why?
Yeah,
Because
kiss the ring.
they believe in the car salesman? No, it was
Mhm.
Mohammed bin Salman
Mhm.
who pushed the Oasis and got rid of this Riviera bullcrap.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, that was when Trump, I think, was wanting to put in hotels with the Trump name on them and so forth.
Well, it goes back to also him to, how angry do you think MBS was?
Mm. I don't know, Whimsy.
Well, if you knew that that the future was Oasis and that Oasis is really the history of your people's heritage, and you're a Saudi, and you know the future is the Saudi traditional Bedouin. They used to have oasis of peace where you could live and let live. We can agree to disagree.
Mhm.
You don't have to be you don't have to be a Muslim, you don't have to be a Christian, you don't have to be anything. It's an ancient concept, and that ancient tolerant concept is Oasis. So who goes and gives Oasis to and makes this deal? I was mad at Elon for a long time for having these meetings, and Netanyahu.
Yeah.
The bottom line is that they got it done.
Yeah.
I forgive you, Elon. I just want credit. Okay. Want to talk about it? How did we get to peace? Why did
Oh,
they all agree to this? Why did they sign up for this
mm,
and talk about it?
as you said, money. Money is behind
Is
all of
money
it.
more important than anything when we're trying to negotiate peace? Do you think that
Unfortunately,
that's got to be the biggest motivator?
I'm sad to say, but yes, that's the way it feels to me. I don't think Trump gives a damn about the humanity aspect of this. It's more about what's in it for him. It's what's in it for everybody.
Very true.
Yeah.
What's our audience saying?
What is our audience saying here? Let me check some comments.
Excuse me.
It's okay. Let me put my glasses on so I can read some of the comments here.
Don't worry, I'm not dying. I'm just inhaling herbs and
You're inhaling.
smoked too much weed over the weekend.
Well,
I
you told
stopped.
me it was herbs.
I stopped. No, I went through a vape period again, but I stopped.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like Rockin' Pony Lady here just suggested Ricola or slippery elm for your cough. And
Oh, thank you,
you
my
certainly know that. You know?
Yes, thank you. There's nothing
Physician,
dangerous happening to me, by the way. I love how worried people are.
physician,
No, I
heal
just
thyself.
it makes my nose run when I
Yeah.
vape.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some comments.
It's legal
here.
in Oregon.
Of course it's legal. Of course it's legal. We know it's legal here.
This one.
So anyway, what did you want to pull up, Whimsy, here?
I think we're just talking now about why do I think it's going to hold? Because you see how many people shook the hands of Trump.
Mm-hmm. Bruising that hand even more because he's on his aspirin regimen.
Well, and I think that we have some really intelligent audience members.
Yes, we do.
So what's going to get all these people to agree not to kill each other? You know?
This is the solution.
You heard me say it. I forgive Elon Musk and Netanyahu for. Look, what I'm upset about was they didn't even send me a thank you card. They just took all the data. Yeah, I mean, like you see how hard I worked on contributing.
I know how hard you worked on that. You put your heart and your soul into that. You gave it everything you had. It's brilliant, and I've said this to you many times. Even if you don't get financially rewarded as you should have, I believe fabulous karma is coming your way. You're going to be acknowledged by the universe.
I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. So
better than fine.
This is the Global Oasis Alliance, a peaceful vision for Gaza and beyond, dedicated to the peaceful people of the world. It was published in March, and the paper presents the Global Oasis Alliance, a transformative initiative crafted for the peaceful people of the world, surpassing the Oasis One hybrid, which would have cost 16 to 23 billion and offered 120 to 165 in trade annually. Set in a post-Hamas context with significant population shifts and reintegration efforts in Gaza, GOA emphasizes advanced security, 90-95% terror reduction, economic equity, now goes to 350 billion a year in trade, and cultural unity, drawing on inspiration from Bedouin as exemplars of humanity. Funded collaboratively by the United Nations, Abraham Accords, partners, private donations, contributions from celebrities like Sir Richard Branson, and strategic partnerships with philanthropists like Bill and Melinda Gates, Mackenzie Scott, Jeff Bezos, et cetera, et cetera. So the takeaway here, people want peace, but they want money more.
Yeah. Well, I'm even thinking when you mentioned all of those billionaire philanthropists, I mean, they want to score brownie points also. They want their own legacy of generosity and what they gave to the world and so forth. So it makes everybody look good. And that's part of the payoff also.
Yeah, I'm really getting disappointed with Midas Touch. I used to be a big fan, but now they're starting to say things that are just not true.
Hmm.
And I am one of the people. There were hundreds that contributed to the creation of what is going to be out of the Abraham Accords. But I think that I helped construct much of the blueprint. And,
Yeah.
you know, if Midas Touch wants to reach out to me, but they should not be saying, they should not be twisting. I'm having a real hard time with Midas Touch right now.
Can you reach out to Midas Touch? Or do you want to even?
They just say things that are just, well, they bought into the whole genocide thing, which was a gang of Arab states with a historical record of rabid anti-Semitism decided to vote and call us genocide. And then it came out that there was the Oasis and all these countries were involved. Do you think that you just have a meeting like Egypt overnight?
No.
The letters I'm showing you go back 2 years. So this has been in the works for a really, really, really long time. And they have been spreading things. They've been spreading lies about what's been going on. And I wish they would have reached out to me. I don't like that. I don't. It's bad enough to be in war. We want to get our facts straight.
Yeah. From Chris Cool, we have Whimsy. Got to ask, did your plan include real estate developers, Witkoff, Kushner, and Trump, plus a Trump Tower shore front in Gaza?
No, you can't do that. It goes again. They won't be able to go in and take people's land. And that's actually one of the things that Mohammed bin Salman was really good about, was that Mohammed bin Salman is not going to let it turn into a Riviera.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be what it originally was supposed to be, which is an oasis based on Bedouin principles.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, if you look at Trump's speech to MBS, I think it, look, what happened was that I was worried it was going to turn into that. And I wrote a series of frantic letters to Mohammed bin Salman, Your Royal Highness, and to Egypt and all the other Arab states saying, I'm Dr. Whimsy Anderson. I'm a cultural anthropologist. I believe the Bedouin are going to save the world. I do. And I believe that the traditional oasis, which predates Islam, peace be upon the Muslims, but this is just not how we started. The party started. It used to be a very tolerant concept, and people would visit the oasis and they would spend money and they would see dancing and singing and entertainment. They would get their cards read. There were fortune tellers and doctors and healers and a love maker, people that would make love to you, and LGBTQ was welcomed, and everybody was welcomed in Oasis. There were certain rules. You don't pick a fight. These are safe zones. They were basically the first creators of the safe zone. And I said in the letter, I said, I fear that that when I gave it to Netanyahu and Elon Musk and Trump, that they were going to distort or change the fabric of what I was trying to do.
Right.
And I fear that this summit that you're going to with Mr. Trump, I want you to have a copy of the original Oasis, which I built.
Mm-hmm.
And it's your heritage. So I wanted you to have it back because this is your heritage. Yeah. And that was kind of how I approached it with the Saudis. And then this meeting took place. Yeah. And so I believe that the energy changed in the room because, look, the energy changed a lot in the room because now I don't think the Israelis, I'm a proud Israeli, and they didn't tell me I couldn't do anything because they didn't communicate with me. But I think they were shocked that I went not behind Netanyahu's back, but I just went and did my own thing and said, well, I'm going to go talk to the Saudis, which they probably never, because I didn't like the direction it was headed.
Right.
So you got to do your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Today we begin a new chapter that will bring lasting benefits to all of our citizens. I stand before you as a representative of the American people to deliver a message of friendship and hope and love. That is why I chose to make my first foreign visit a trip to the heart of the Muslim world. Our vision is one of peace, security, and prosperity in this region and all throughout the world. Our goal is a coalition of nations who share the aim of stamping out extremism and providing our children a hopeful future that does honor to God. This landmark agreement includes the announcement of a $110 billion Saudi-funded defense purchase, and we will be sure to help our Saudi friends to get a good deal from our great
It's all about
American.
money, right?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
All about money,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Well, yeah, no, just listening to Trump, it's like it's the elder statesman that he wishes that he was. He actually seemed almost sincere as he was speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I liked about this whole thing was I liked the look on I liked the look on the prince's face when he was sitting on the original document, and I can only imagine how tense the room was,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because he's talking as if he created the entire thing, and then you have somebody like bin Salman saying, well, wait a minute, I just received this document. Can you explain to me, you know, what I'm looking at? So I'm sure it was probably something of an embarrassment when that happened. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, what can you say about that? I mean, it's just, you're right about it. I could feel the tension in the room. I mean, but I was just surprised how Trump pulled himself together so eloquently, almost to where it was uncharacteristic. And at least it gave the appearance, the facade,
right,
that everything was together in the room.
Yeah, I think that MBS was very angry, to be honest with you. And
Yeah,
I think that
you can feel that tension in the room.
Right. And I think he gave a tongue lashing to both Trump and Elon Musk before this speech was given. It's like, no, we're going to do it our way. We're going to do Oasis. We're Bedouin. This is not an American thing.
Yeah.
This is an Abrahamic thing. We are the Abrahamic nations. We're going to do it our way. We're not going to do a Trump Tower. And so it must have, I can only imagine after he got the original concepts and it was all, you know, touting the greatness of the Bedouins, I can imagine it must have been a very tense situation.
Yeah. Yeah, you can even see it in the body language for people.
Oh, yeah.
Now I give the floor to His Excellency.
So then he has to, you know, try and come out of it. That was one that happened a while back, but
yeah.
One of our great partners, no matter who we look to, and we have great partners in the world, but we have none stronger and nobody like the gentleman that's right before me. He's your greatest representative. And if I didn't like him, I'd get out of here so fast. You know that, don't you? He knows me well. I do. I like him a lot. I like him too much. That's why we give so much, you know? Too much. I like you too much.
Yes, and you're going to keep on giving because I'm the one paying for this rebuild. So that's what's going on behind
that look of, oh, shucks, you know? Well, Trump was
speaking. You're going to continue to be nice to me, and it's going to be an oasis. It's going to be a Bedouin oasis. He says, you're going to do it your way. Yes, we're going to do it our way. It's not going to be any of this Trump Tower BS. Yeah, so that's what I think is going on. You want to try and do a couple more before we close today?
Sure. what are we going to do next, Whimsy?
Well, what's the audience saying? It looks like we got a donation here from Julie M.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Whimsy, what do you see? Do you see a comment, a question we could...
Well, I'm trying to find that donation so I can...
Oh, let me see if I can find it here. Let me scroll back. Oh, you found it. Okay. Well, thank you, Julie.
Oh, thank you, Julie. That's very kind of yours.
That's very kind indeed.
Yeah, so we'll try and get through these really fast.
Okay.
Any more questions here? Yeah, we talked about the those being released. I think it's inevitable that's going to happen. And what's crazy about those cards is how many people don't want it released.
Well, yeah. But we talked about this just a little bit earlier about all the names for people all over the world who stand to be ruined by the release of this. That's why there's such an extraordinary effort to cover it up. But yeah, I've often thought, I've said this before, I sense that there are too many people who have their own copies, probably sitting on their laptops, on their iPads. There are probably people outside of the US, and that's not impossible at all. That's how it could end up being released. As just Josel was saying, Epstein files released by outsiders. I think that's a strong possibility. That might be what's going to ultimately instigate Congress to get back in session again. How do you see Canada's economy and politics?
Let's pull a couple cards.
Okay. Let's see what to make of this here. I think they're going to be doing very well. I have a very good Canadian friend that I talk with a lot on the phone. But I think, first of all, I'm just trying to make sense out of these cards here. It's obvious, a lot of competition going on. But I see around their survival new beginnings. But I also feel that they're incredibly disciplined about this. Like they're really clear about the priorities, where they're going, especially since they see they can't rely on America anymore. They've got to rely on themselves. And ultimately, there will be gifts out of this. I think Canada is going to do very well. I think going to thrive with all that's going on right now.
Oh, good.
So what are you getting?
Stubborn. Arguing, stubborn, refusal to change, worried about their finances, frugality, strong partnerships globally, take them to a very importing and exporting global contacts will ultimately put them in a very good place.
It sounds almost like they're picking up the slack of what's been lost in America as far as global trade goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're in a really good position in North America, and they have a lot of the resources the Americans have, but without all the drama. So in a way, this could help them with their economy. People are like, great, we'll just buy it from the Canadians.
Yeah, I like what you said, without the drama. That's the that sums up a lot of the energy I'm getting. They're very practical, keeping, I hate to use a cliche, but keeping their nose to the grindstone, very focused. They're going to do great. Windy Bird asked, did anyone see the press conference on the Capitol steps of some of Epstein's victims? Yeah, that wasn't that a few weeks ago. They said that they will compile their own list. Yeah, that was like about a month ago, wasn't it, Whimsy? A number of impassioned people on the steps of the Capitol. And I think we even said that they may very well come forward. It may be like a reassembled Epstein's list from all of these people, from the victims.
Why haven't they done it up to this point? That's what I'm wondering.
That's what I'm wondering too. I was just about to say that. What is taking so long? Whimsy, do you think they're being held back in some way, like they're being threatened?
I don't know, but
it seems strange they haven't come forward faster than
this. It's a bit yeah, I don't know. What's your feeling about it?
Well, that's why I'm wondering myself.
Do you think it's about being threatened? Do you think it's there's legal reasons?
Well, that's the first thing that popped into my head. They're being threatened in some way. They're being scared. It feels like this should have come out by now. Now, I don't know. I can't substantiate that, but that's what popped into my head.
Mhm.
So I was wondering what kind of hit you were getting on that. But,
Yeah, I think so. I
I'm gonna
think I
ask,
would be.
are
They've
these
suffered.
people
They've
being
suffered so
threatened?
much.
Are these people being? I got a yes, Pendulum. They are being threatened. That's what's
Oh
holding
yeah.
them back.
Think
Yeah.
about all those powerful people that
There's too much at stake,
participated.
and too many rich, powerful people here. You know, yeah. No, I got a yes. Anyway,
I don't want to show too much of this because it's pretty graphic, but these people are. I won't show the actual point in which they're killed.
oh God.
But this is the streets of Gaza right now. Anybody who they believe collaborated or took food from the Americans
Oh,
is now being. I won't show the. I don't want to get in trouble, but this is
no.
just one scene on the streets of Gaza. Any crazy person with a gun.
It's madness.
Absolute madness. Yeah, I agree. I think most people now, in hindsight, including him,
including
would say that-
Obama, you feel?
Oh yeah. If you read his
Yeah.
biography,
Yeah.
it was something that he. There are many times in his biography he talks about.
In his autobiography, you mean?
In his autobiography, where he
Yeah.
is torn between the ethics of certain things, the bombing of Libya,
You know,
and his greatest mistake.
really, he actually used those words. My greatest
Oh yeah,
mistake. Intriguing. I
biggest
have.
mistake he ever made. Look at what happened to Libya. It was a functioning society, and when he
Yeah.
bombed it so that Putin couldn't get his trade out.
Yeah.
They were going to have a new trade route into Africa, and so look what happened. They completely dismantled, and it turned into Libya has become a hellhole, and horrible for the people that live there, and horrible in terms of women's rights. It's a hellhole. Or his decision to use drones, which killed so many people in Yemen.
Hmm.
You know, in the ongoing war with the Saudis. That's another mistake he made. And then the money, the 38 billion that eventually went to funding Hamas and Hezbollah, which is what led to this nightmare in the first place.
Hmm.
So those are but the good news about Obama is that Obama recognizes his mistakes, and you won't get that kind of honesty from a president like Trump.
Oh, I was thinking that very same thing. It's astounding that he's that candid. I have his autobiography. I have to confess, I didn't finish it.
Oh, really?
Well, I got maybe halfway through
About
it.
2/3 in when he starts to talk about the war in Libya.
I now want to go back. I want to read that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Raymond P. Oh, okay. Wendy. Macron hated every minute of that.
Having to shake that. He wants the peace deal. Come on. They
Yeah.
want the peace deal. That's what all that. They want the 350 billion.
Mm-hmm.
These are just raw numbers. Can you imagine? This is without Europe. Think about that. This is if Europe decides that they're like, you know what, we don't want to participate. 350 billion a year. Who's going to argue with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, well, you just said it there. Who's going to argue with that? You know, money is power, ultimate power.
It's just crazy when you look at those numbers.
Yeah.
You know, how many regular people would love to visit Gaza if it was a safe oasis zone where Jews and Arabs and Muslims and Christians all live together and welcome to Oasis, and you come and you get to visit.
You make it sound like the happiest place on earth,
Disneyland.
You know?
Yeah, that's what they're doing. That's
Yeah.
actually one of the concepts.
Mhm.
It's becoming a vacation resort.
Mhm. Wasn't that in your proposal?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
that, you know, I think we looked at the numbers. What were the numbers we got? 85% of the original, it was watermarked. We put it through a computer analysis and they adopted 85% of my proposal. So I'm pretty happy about that. I mean, think about that. That's pretty darn good to get to have influenced 85% of the rebuild.
Yeah. The universe will recognize that, Whimsy.
It's okay.
I mean, it will. It will. I know
Yeah,
you're not
saying
in
that.
it
I
for
get
that
it.
reason, but I strongly believe that you did a lot of good, and I think you participated in like a collective consciousness. There were other people who also contributed to this, and you were just all sending that up, making it into a reality.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to see the numbers?
Pull them up.
I ran it through watermarks to look for. It's what they do a computer analysis to see scientifically if my phrases were used, my concepts were used. I'm such a narcissist. See, this is the narcissism in me, Chuck. I got to heal my narcissism.
Oh, a little bit of narcissism is healthy, Whimsy.
You think?
I think a little bit.
I'm working on the narcissism. I don't know.
Oh, I've never thought of you as narcissistic.
You don't think of me as a narcissist?
No, never have I thought of you in that way.
So wrapped up in myself.
That's a revelation to me that you've actually considered yourself.
Yeah. So here is what the computer looked at. Core analytics. Trump's 20-point plan compared to Dr. Anderson's research. Here's the timeline of the documents I sent, including the one to MBS.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the correlations. Anything above 70%, the computer said it came most likely from me. We have an 80% high on security, governance very high, over 90%, including verbatim direct quotes, reconstruction, including the prices, 75%, economic hubs, 85%, partners, 80%, channel influence and direct communications. And then the assessment was that I shaped 75 to 85% of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what am I supposed to do with that?
Well, I guess just revel in your brilliance. You're extraordinary.
It wasn't so much I wasn't hurt about, I was hurt not about not getting paid for my hours, though I do think they should have covered my research hours.
How many hours would you estimate you put into this?
Well, I've been working with the basic concept for 40 years, but a good at least 2,000 hours just on the final drafts for the IDF and for the Saudis and everybody else. But I got no pay even for all this. They adopted 75 to 80% of, I wrote 75 to 85% of it, and I didn't even get a thank you note. So that hurts.
Yeah.
It hurt.
Just to be acknowledged. I mean,
yeah.
Because
so it was just hurtful.
We were talking about this even a week or two ago, how the similarities,
it's nice though to have it proven,
it is.
To have it go through the documents and approve and be able to prove it.
You've got a lot of people here who have witnessed
my heart and soul into that.
Or the months. I know you put your heart and soul into it. Believe me, I know that. I know that about you all too well. It's interesting here. The Sybil said, Whimsy, you're not a narcissist, you're an Aries. And you know what? My cat is an Aries. So I live with Aries female energy and understand it very well.
Jolene, I'm going to blame Jolene for my cough tonight. Too much cardamom.
If that's what you want to blame it on, Whimsy. I know.
No, I was making tea remedies and I put too much cardamom. All right. Did you have fun? Did you have fun today?
I always loved it.
I haven't shipped it out yet, Jolene.
I always love.
I have not shipped it out yet. I just made it tonight, but it has to get shipped out.
Yeah, I always love doing this show with you, Whimsy, and all of you out there. And Whimsy, you sent me something yesterday. It was a little posting you put up about the two of us together working on the show. And there were so many lovely comments from viewers.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I was just blown away. I mean, you had me moved almost to tears. It was so beautiful. It was just beautiful.
Do that more often for you, Chuck.
Do it more often for me. But I come on here. I'm like you. I just strive to be humble. I just come on here. Well, my first and foremost intention is to always be my best for you, be the best for all of you out there, and not to glorify myself in any way. So when I see comments like that, it's just know I'm very, very touched by all of you, and I'm deeply, deeply appreciative.
They've grown accustomed to your face, Chuck.
Oh, you're going to have to do your Rex Harrison for me now in My Fair Lady.
Going accustomed to your face, accustomed to your walk.
Is that where he goes,
Accustomed to your face.
damn, 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 I become accustomed to her face, you know?
That's right. That was our first season. That was
Oh,
August of 2021, I believe.
oh my God, I think that was, oh
22,
my
something like that.
God, my hair, what was I
I
thinking?
don't
at
know, but
time
that
in
was
my
our
life?
first
But,
season. That was us, right? We were writing the script for it was our third show. We were in LA. We were
we were in
both,
LA, and I think we were
and I
both a
think we
little,
were drinking. We were
yes, I
drinking.
was just going to say
Was
that.
I drinking a wine cooler? No, you were
I
drinking a
was,
wine cooler, and
I
you
was
got me
drinking
2
a wine.
Heinekens.
I was drinking a wine cooler. I don't know what you were drinking, but it was,
Heineken. You bought me 2 Heineken.
is that what it was? All I know is it was the one show we've done where we
He
were
called me
actually,
from. He called me from like the 7-Eleven. Which one? I'm like, just grab whatever. And I was like,
as long as
and I
it has
think I
booze
said,
in it,
what
right?
did I say? I wanted
Alcohol.
Samuel Adams, and you said they don't have it, and so you grabbed. I said, just grab 2 Heineken. And I think, did I give you the other Heineken? Because I know I can't drink 2 Heineken.
I don't think you did. I think I just worked on that wine cooler, but I know that's the one show where we were actually sitting side by side live as opposed to the split screen. I'm in LA, you're in Portland. We were actually together. That was the day we both had meltdowns because we lost your
Oh
passport
God, it's
and
no
your
big
bag
deal.
at the
It turned out to
cemetery.
be no big deal.
It
My
was
passport was expiring in 2 months,
it was a
and yeah, it was
crazy
no big
day.
deal.
It was hotter than hell. We had to get back to the hotel to do the 5 o'clock show. Somehow we chilled out and did a show, but we were there
It was great.
drinking and we both got a little tipsy.
We were
and a little
drinking and talking
silly.
about Barbie. I remember that.
Yeah, the Barbie movie. We had Korean barbecue and went to see the Barbie movie. Ha ha ha. But yeah, we talked about that and we were drinking and silly, not unlike the way we are right now. And that's where that picture was probably taken.
Right, it was great.
Yeah.
So Qatar wants to be part of the Abraham Accords, and in order to do that, they're going to have to cut ties with Hamas, or they're not going to be part of the deal. So they can either be part of it, or they're not going, or they can be ostracized and not part of the Abraham Accords. Do they want to be part of the $350 billion a year package or not? Which choice do you? Or are they going to cut these terrorist psychopaths out? Of course, they're going to cut off the psychopaths because, like I have always said, if you want people to be Zionists, you have to make them financial investors. And when it's their money on the line, they're going to become Zionist. You know, they're going to support Oasis One and a peaceful resolution of the conflict because it's not financially viable for them to continue to hate and kill people.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line.
And you make that serious statement as Mila is on your shoulder waving her tail.
There's my girl. Best girl in the world.
Oh, I love Mila. I used to cat sit for Mila.
Mm.
And we've told that story that time she ran out the door and didn't come back for 9 hours and was basically holding me hostage because I couldn't leave.
She loved you. She didn't want you to leave.
I know, but I was like, how am I going to contact you and tell you I lost your cat? I was horrified. It's everybody's nightmare when they're
That was fun.
Yeah, I turned.
So listen, tell us, what are you up to? If we want to promote you,
up to. You asked me that earlier when you were trying to get me to cover your coughing, and I wasn't astute enough to pick up on that. But anyway, if you want to reach me, it's just, you see Chuck Dransfield. It's Dransfield Chuck. I just noticed, look what Sasha's done to me. DransfieldChuck@gmail.com. I've been doing readings for a number of you out there. I love doing it. I love getting to meet you, getting to know you personally. I also do artwork commissions. I can do portraits where I can read the energy of the subject as I'm working on the portrait.
I love that you can do that.
I love doing it. I love doing it.
Any chance we can get a message from anybody who's passed over for Hot Topics Thursday?
I'm working on
everybody
that
would
right
like
now.
to see that. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we didn't get to do that last week. I think we had so much.
Maybe John F. Kennedy can come in, or
I don't know. I should try. I'll see who wants
anyone that slept with him.
Whoa, I could comment there, but I don't want to be.
I was thinking about Marilyn Monroe.
Yes, possibly. My dilemma is, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis is one of the souls that comes to me, and I'm very respectful, almost to the point of being reverential to these souls. So I don't want to offend her. But yeah, I could see what would come in. See what maybe she'd like to come back and give another message.
Oh, that would be
I'm looking at
lovely.
Mila there. But I've said this many times. I never want to exploit these souls.
Or Ella Fitzgerald.
Ooh, I love Ella
Considering what
Fitzgerald.
she's gone through in life. Oh my God.
Oh my God. And I have a painting. It'd be the perfect
I
painting.
know.
Do you know the one
That
I'm
is
talking
what,
about?
in my opinion, that's your greatest work.
Yeah, I've had several people say that to me. It was the portrait of Ella Fitzgerald when she was arrested.
Yeah.
You know, because she was playing.
Have you sold? Is that still up for sale?
Oh yes,
Are you going
very
to
much
sell
so.
the original?
Part of me doesn't want to part with it.
You know, they tell artists not to do that. To be very careful, unless you're going to get a really good. Because
Well,
when it's gone, it's gone.
Honestly, it would have to be a good price for this because I'm very fond of the painting. But it's a painting of Ella when she was arrested for performing to a mixed audience.
She was
arrested. It happened in Texas.
Of course, it would happen.
And I was so, because I'm so empathetic and I so love Ella Fitzgerald, I was heartbroken when I saw the photograph. There she is with her mink stole and her evening gown on, looking beautiful, and she's so sad. So sad, sitting on her little bunk in her jail
All she
cell.
wanted to do was make people happy and
Exactly.
sing. And
she just had this look of bewildered sadness, like, why did they do this? And that photograph.
Or you could donate the painting to the Smithsonian or something like that.
Oh, I don't know if the Smithsonian would take my art, but that's a thought. But
I think they would because you're famous now. But
the photograph moved me so deeply. Sometimes something just calls to me. I have to paint it. I mean, I have to. And you want to talk about channeling. I actually tried to speak to Ella because I wanted to do a portrait of her. I wanted to do a beautiful portrait of her, something traditional. And I heard her say, no, I want you to paint that. That's what I want you to paint. And that's what I did. And you've seen the painting. Whimsy.
So it was Ella who came through and said, that's the painting.
She came through and
wow.
No, this was just a very simple message, but I could hear her saying to me, no, that's what I want you to paint.
What about Billie Holiday?
I love Billie Holiday, but I've never consciously tried to contact her, and I should, because I know
you have connected with her as an artist.
I was just going to say I have connected with her when I painted her. I have you seen that large portrait I did of her, very large oil painting? I worked like a month on it.
Yes.
And I started working on this. This was many years ago. My sister sent me a wonderful 2 CD box set of Billie Holiday's recordings. I forget, was it for Verve or it was or for Decca? It was the Decca Records recordings from the 1940s. I was so deeply moved. I could feel Billie Holiday's spirit with me, and I again had to paint her. And you've seen the painting, Whimsy. I put a lot of emotion, a lot of feeling into it, and I also believe Billie's energy was coming through me. But I've never tried to just consciously contact her like I do here on the show and say, do you have a message for the viewers? You got me thinking here. Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday. I'll see who will want to
Eleanor Roosevelt. I'm just trying to think of people.
I was really proud of that message from
I think, Eleanor already came in. Yeah.
She came in.
Marilyn Monroe has not come in yet. People were also thinking about men that if some of the men you've channeled. I don't know if James Dean would be. James
Dean comes through. I know people have commented about it's predominantly female. And I made this comment, I think on the last show, that we've discussed before about how female energy is moving in and gradually taking over the world. And I feel like that's like a lot of female souls are having such strong messages channeling through me. At least that's my theory. I often don't question it. I just allow it. Whoever wants to speak to me, whatever wants to come through.
Betty White would say, adopt more scruffy.
She probably would.
She came into a shop when I was working, and
you got to meet her?
Yeah, I've met her several times, and she always wore this sweater that had all the different dog breeds.
Really?
And I said, I like your sweater, and she's like, thank you. And her dog was a golden retriever.
Yeah,
I think a golden retriever.
Dinah. a golden
Yeah.
retriever named Dinah, and I think she wrote a book, co-wrote a book with was it Tom Sullivan, the blind actor, and it was about service dogs, you know, in general. I haven't read the book, but I think that's what it was. And my late friend Bart Andrews was a literary agent. I told you I used to work with him, helping him read manuscripts, and I think he was her agent for that book. I know he represented her for at least one or two of her books.
Yeah.
And I got to see her. I never got to meet Betty White, but I was in the studio audience for Golden Palace. You know, that was the sequel series to the Golden Girls. I got to sit in the audience for that. That was the only time I ever saw her in person. But
Abigail Adams, what a lucky woman she was. She was lucky because she was actually married to someone who respected her as an equal and considered her his best friend.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be wonderful? She didn't have to be emancipated. She was already experiencing a lot more than 99% of women in the United States. But Thomas Jefferson had a bit of a crush on her because he was able to have the most intellectual conversations with her, and he was always astounded at how brilliant and educated Abigail was.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to that. I think it was an HBO miniseries. Paul Giamatti and Laura Linney played Abigail Adams.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, we're going to call it quits. Thank you, everyone, for being here. If you're trying to get an appointment with Chuck, you can email him at dransfieldchuck@gmail.com. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can find all the information below, or you can just Google Dr. Whimsy Anderson, Booksy. It's the easiest way, and then you can book me through Booksy. All right. I think we're going to let you go. We've been here almost 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours? I'm looking at the clock here.
Yeah.
We've been on 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 21 seconds.
Right. All right, everyone. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time, everyone.
See you next time.
You.
Thank you, everyone.
Love you. Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.